It's Danny Roll's first full season in charge of Wednesday. It's going to be a massive season. Welcome back to Terrace Talk, and this is where the Owls walk. Oh, it's great to hear that. It's great to have football back, isn't it, Matt? How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Mark. Yeah, it is. I'm itching for Sunday. I'll be honest with you. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Welcome back to Terrace Talk. If you are new to the channel, then where have you been? But we review every single Sheffield Wednesday game and news weekly, and we get you on the channel as well to comment and give your views. So welcome back to Matt, Andrew and the Bear on holiday. We have got a range of different guests coming on, including one massive Wednesday fan and also huge on social media, and that's Glyn. Welcome, Glyn, to Terrace Talk. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You?
Yeah, are you excited for this one? This is going to be a season of no worries whatsoever for Wednesday.
100%, yeah, that's the plan anyway. No dramas. A dramaless season. Fingers crossed.
Okay, let's get straight into it then, shall we? Good to see you all. Some interesting kits that we're adorning us. We're going to get into kits in a minute and review what you think of this season's. First of all, Matt, how do you view this summer for Wednesday as a whole? I suppose the most important bit was the new contract for Danny Roll. Start there with it for us.
Yeah, I think the staving off relegation last year was almost inevitable that we were going to end up with Danny Ralston in charge at Hillsborough, which was music to every single Sheffield Wednesday fan's ears. He was the key component. He wasn't the sole reason, but he was the key component as to why we were so successful through the second half of the season last year. It seemed to be a formality. I know the last time that I was on discussing kind of like the last game of the season with our Sunderland fan, he was very keen to have Danny Roll, and I think both myself and Andrew had said that you needed to stay as far away from him as possible. We've tied him down to a 3-year deal, which is a massive positive for the club. It's a real statement of intent through all of the negativity that I myself and lots of other Wednesday fans gave the chairman and the regime that controls the purse strings at Hillsborough last season. On top of that, we've been really good with our business, and I think that's a mark of the manager, his backroom staff, the coaching setup, and he's gone about actually building a somewhat competitive squad for this season. We're still a couple of weeks of recording of this video away from the end of the transfer window, but so far the business has been really good, and it was done early as well, which I think is really crucial to the way that Danny wants to play, because the way in which that he plays requires complete and utter buy-in from players. You have to understand and know the system, and that's kind of been evident over the course of the pre-season games, which I know we'll come on to. But yeah, a massive piece of business keeping hold of him.
Cheers for that, Matt. We will throughout each week review the defence, midfield, and attack in terms of signings. We'll start with defence next week, so I don't want to get too into it, but. Glyn, the signings of Windass and Bannon and Beale back on loan. Beadle back on loan. Just they sort of highlight that Wednesday are organised.
It's refreshing, Mark, isn't it? I mean, really, when you look back at kind of the mess that we've been in for such a long time now, that when was the last time really we had any proper structure, and you roll back at manager after manager after manager, and even in the Carlos reign, we went all in. There was no depth. It was just throw money at players and get them all out there, and hopefully we get promoted. And it don't feel like that this time, does it? There's structure. There's a togetherness. The Danny Roll has just walked into a room and turned the light on, really, and built it, and it does feel different. Now I'm not getting carried away. I'm a realist, but yeah, it's definitely a steadied ship as it goes, and it feels a fantastic foundation, a brilliant platform to ignite the season, definitely.
Okay. I mean, sorry to bring this up, Matt, but last summer people were tweeting Chansiri out, getting tennis balls ready with marker pens and ready to protest. I barely think I've seen any of that this summer. Is all forgiven?
It's lurking under the surface, Mark. I can tell you that much. A couple of signings and the recruitment of the manager, and the fact that I think most importantly the chairman appears to have kept quiet this summer is what's done it. Credit where it's due. I've given him lots of stick both online and on here. I will give him his credit where it's due. He's gone out and made the sensible decisions so far. There are still some glaring ones, which I think at the moment we are reluctant to pay a fairly nominal transfer fee for a really important player in Ike Ugbo, who we've been linked with all summer, was one of our top priorities and targets at the start of the window. We're haggling overpaying 2.5 million, which I know is a huge amount of money to all of us. But in footballing and championship terms, for a player who over the course of last season, both at Sheffield Wednesday and Cardiff, got 11 goals, 2.5 million is a snip of a deal. I'll be honest, it's going to take one poorly timed statement before you see mass protests back at Hillsborough, I would imagine. It's the thing is with Chansiri, as we've all learned, he is incapable of taking responsibility for his own actions. You know, Glyn mentioned there the Carlos era, which at the time, as a fan, you weren't speaking up. Of course you weren't, because this was brand new. This is a fan base that has been starved of any success for 25 years. And we are, we were going out and signing players for 4, 5, 10 million pounds. We were feeling like, actually maybe this is our opportunity to actually compete for once within a championship and actually have a look at getting back to where most Sheffield Wednesday fans feel that the club belongs in terms of the Premier League. It's not our job as a fan base to tell the owner how to run the club, but it has felt like it's almost, from our perspective as fans, lunatics running the asylum a little bit in the last 24 months, in terms of we sit there and are saying, this is not a smart business decision. We can all see this. It'll be very interesting to see which tax bill doesn't get paid this year, which crazy statement comes out and blames fans, and the fact that we haven't gone out and signed players is all down to the noise that people like myself and Glyn make on social media. It'll be really interesting to see this year. But for now, waters are calm at the minute at Hillsborough.
Okay. Let's see for how long. Cheers for that, Matt. All right, Glyn. In a nutshell, review for us how you've done pre-season. Obviously, results don't matter, but how Wednesday been looking?
And I do believe in that as well. That results don't particularly matter, but for once we've actually had a pre-season, Mark. Sorry, and it's again refreshing to see players coming in and like Matt just said, getting used to the Danny Roll way of playing. We as fans sat in stands week in, week out can't work out how Danny Roll sets about his business. We can't see a format, but they know what they're doing, and that's fine by me as long as they're going out and performing. So I was at the Liam Palmer testimonial. I watched a couple of the games on YouTube over in Germany, and other than the lack of goals, which I'll come on to in a minute, the style of play, the way they're fizzing the ball about, the togetherness in the team, they're all smiles. Defensively, they look very sound. They all seem to understand their positions and where they need to be. Of course, there's a little bit a ring rust, if you like, but I believe the way that Danny Roll's gone about his business, we've got a lot of experienced players, like you said earlier, your Bannon, your Windass. As daft as it sounds, even Beadle, he's been there, he's been in the team. I know he's still a young man, but is well beyond his years in the way that he plays, and he understands Danny Roll's vision and style of play. So for me, pre-season successful. Absolutely, we need an out-and-out number 9 striker, somebody who's gonna stick the ball in the back of the net. Is that Ike Ugbo? Only time will tell. I know we've been linked with a couple of other players, Cannon and Cabba, but we'll see. In Danny we trust, and if he wants to sign somebody who's unheard of, but he turns up and fits in with the regime, then I'll back him 100%.
Okay. we'll get more into signings, as I say, next week. We'll have a look at defence and goalkeeper. There is one I just want to float by you, Matt. Max Lowe signed early on. You cool with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just for nothing. If he does nothing else other than rattle the other side of the city, which he's done so far, it's fine by me. Yeah, I mean, I will preface this, and this isn't just because I have a deep loathing, passion, and hatred for the other side of the city. It's more to do with. I would suggest if it was a Sheffield Wednesday player moving over to Sheffield United, we would find it quite difficult to be objective if it was a direct move as well. I think if I look at, I've listened to a lot of Forest fans who have spoken on Max Lowe, and they really rate him. Sometimes, for whatever reason, it doesn't work out for a player at a particular club. You know, we a prime example of that. We spoke about the Carlos era. Alman Abdi is a prime example of that. He was a magician at Watford, came to us on a 4-year deal, must have played about 10, 12, 15 games and spent the rest of his time frequenting the bars in Sheffield. So, yeah, I mean, from what we have seen of him in pre-season, I know we're going to talk about transfers a bit more next week. We have upgraded massively in the wing-back positions. It now feels like that there are, I'm not meaning to do a disservice here to Marvin Johnson or Paul Valentin. It feels like we've got some adults in the room in terms of really experienced quality in positions, which I would suggest as Wednesday fans, if you'd have spoke to us last year about that specific position, that Paul Valentin right back position or that right wing back position, most Wednesday fans would have told you, no, we're more than happy with him. But when a player of that quality comes up, you've got to go make a bid and you've got to go make a play for him. Glyn's absolutely right. At this point in time, the manager has bought every single ounce of trust from every Sheffield Wednesday fan. And if that means going and signing, God forbid, Billy Sharp, because he thinks he's going to get us some goals, go and do it. Because at the minute, we feel that everything that this manager is touching so far, based off of last season, is quite rightly turning to gold. So we now have, in that right back position, we now have real strength in depth, and our wide areas, I think, in this coming season are going to be a real strength, both from right wing back, left wing back, and also the right and left forwards, is where you're going to see a lot of Sheffield Wednesday's good work, I think, this season, just from the options that we have out there.
Okay. All right, let's ask you for your views on this year's kits before we talk about Plymouth. Each week, we're going to ask you to cast your eye over some Wednesday tweets and views on what people have said. This week, we have a comment about the shirts. First of all, let's get your view on the home and away one. Matt, I'll come to you for the home one. Not as nice as the Chupa Chips Classic.
Do you know what? Anybody who did own that shirt or does own that shirt currently will tell you how heavy that Chupa Chup sponsor is. It is ridiculous. When you put it through a wash, it needs 3-4 days to dry. Yeah, I mean, the home shirt originally, when it was released, actually was met by a fairly mixed review from most Sheffield Wednesday fans. I think there was a lot of discussion about the pattern down the stripes and a lot of discussion surrounding the collar. I think what has happened, as often happens with a lot of new kits, when people actually see it on the players and see it in action, like Glyn, you were mentioning about the Liam Palmer testimonial, our final pre-season game on the weekend, it's a much nicer shirt. And ultimately, if we go on to have a positive and successful season this year, which every Sheffield Wednesday fan is hoping, it will be a shirt that everybody's clamouring to have and own in their collection. So ultimately, yeah, it's a shirt with blue and white stripes on. I'm quite happy with it, to be perfectly honest with you.
It is weird that neither Sheffield clubs have a sponsor on their shirts yet. It's going to look good, that November derby, if that's still the case. Just traditional blue and white versus red and white. Glyn, I've asked you to comment on the away shirt because clearly you're a fan, given you've parted your hard-earned money with it. What are your thoughts?
Both kits. I love it. You know, the away is kind of a replica of the '98 shirt, isn't it? But quality, really, really good, well fitting, true to size. I've worn mine once last weekend at the testimonial and pulled it on the seat behind. So I've worn it once. It's cost me £70 to pull a shirt. But the only thing I'd say about the kits is obviously the price. And you know, as soon as anything's announced, season tickets, shirt prices, anything at Hillsborough, fans kick off. But we can't have it both ways, can we? You know, if we want to invest, then people have got to spend the money. So I love both shirts, and I own both shirts. So you know, and season after season, I'll buy both shirts. So it's you know, each to their own. But yeah, very good quality.
Okay. Both Hull and Oxford fans will be screaming at you now, saying, "Well, at least you've got an away shirt," because they are still waiting.
We've been there,
waiting for this. Yeah,
we've been there, haven't we?
All right, some quick fire questions then about obviously the game this weekend and your predictions. Plymouth coming up, Matt. Could you have asked for a better opening fixture than Plymouth at home?
No, every Sheffield Wednesday fan, the minute the season finished and it was confirmed we were staying up, said we wanted some mid-table, bottom-end fodder to come to Hillsborough first game of the season. That's me not meaning to do a disservice to Plymouth. It's me looking at their summer recruitment, both in terms of the manager kind of primarily, but also the transfers and the potential outgoings there, which may still happen before the weekend. It's a really different proposition to 12 months ago, where Southampton rolled into town with Nathan Teller and James Ward-Prowse, Shay Adams, Adam Armstrong all coming to Hillsborough, and everyone was thinking this is going to be a cricket score after our pre-season had gone. This coming Sunday, I would imagine it's going to be I'm hesitant to say a bit of a cakewalk, but I would suggest that it is going to be a much easier fixture, and it's quite a nice start to the season for us because we are riding the crest of a wave. I think Plymouth fans seem to be quite positive, but there is also a bit of a split because they have no idea what to expect from a Wayne Rooney Plymouth side. So actually, I think they're kind of still getting to know the manager and the squad, whereas we know exactly what we're going to get. And everybody is completely 100% behind the managers and the player. So I think it is going to be a really positive atmosphere and also a positive outcome ultimately on Sunday.
Okay. Some quick one-liners then for you. Glyn, where are Wednesday going to finish this season?
Oh, so I've thought about this long and hard, and I'm still thinking. But
one position,
eighth.
Matt, one
10th.
word. Okay, who's winning the championship, Glyn?
Leeds, unfortunately.
Matt?
Luton.
And who's in trouble? Glyn?
Sheffield United.
Aside from Sheffield United, Plymouth in my book, I think Plymouth are in real bother.
Okay. Brilliant. Right. Thank you both very much. Next week, we're focusing on goalkeepers and the defence. And of course, we're going to review how the Plymouth game has gone. But yeah, a home banker for many pundits. Let's cross it doesn't come back to bite you on the back.
I was going to say, I'm very uneasy at that mark.
All right. Thanks for watching Terry's Talk Where the Owls Walk. If you haven't yet subscribed, please, of course, do so that these guys can continue making all this wonderful content to you. Don't forget to follow Matt at MattJohno1989 at Twitter if you don't yet already. It's an incredible, entertaining watch, and we'll see you next week to review the next game. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
See you later.
Thank you.